Well, folks, I've spent my entire life dreaming about living here at the camp, wondering what it would be like to spend a whole winter here on the mountain. Well, as of last month, we completed a full year. Well, actually been here 13 months now. And it's been an amazing experience. Truly a wonderful experience. There's been a lot of challenges and some setbacks, but it was all part of the journey that made it more exciting and more memorable. So, in a lot of ways, it's been my greatest accomplishment, and I say that because living here is the childhood dream that I've carried the longest. And now I'm fulfilling a lot of my dad's dreams in the process, and it's just a remarkable journey. It is. So we've been here a year, the dream has been fulfilled, and I just want to share in that celebration with you all and just share some of the highlights of this experience. It's been a wonderful experience indeed. So enjoy. After too many years spent dreaming about living up here, and now with us both in our mid-50s, we decided to finally make this dream materialize. We sold our house, packed our things, and moved to our mountain cabin. A cabin that just wasn't fit to live in. We had our share of work to do, but work is what we did, and did a lot of it, both inside and out. Lots of preparations for winter, and lots of wood to cut. Lots of kindling too, but we kept at it and made progress in all directions. Something to be said for teamwork and staying focused like that. Now that the camp will hold some heat, we needed a good stove to heat it with, and the Kitchen Queen 380 worked out perfectly. But at 650 pounds, we needed to work smarter and not harder. With the use of leverage and rollers and some pushing and pulling, we got her done. And did so just in time. Because once the snow fell upon the road, it was here to stay, and our only access in and out was by ATV and snowmobile. And sometimes we even had traffic to contend with, but it's the kind of traffic we like to see up here. The snow sure brought beauty to the mountain, but it brought challenges too. Getting water was a bit more difficult, but not too bad if you kept the proper mindset. We're just grateful to have this old well up here. She never froze and always ran crystal clear. Now Frankie had troubles with the deep snow sometimes, but he certainly learned how to thaw those paws out. And what can I say about that turkey? Looks like Mama's got the wood-fired oven figured out. Jeepers!
I'm not going to eat that all. I'll share. Wow, look at that. That bugger?
Look at him.
Oh, look at that.
And when Christmas morning came to the cabin, there was someone here that needed to tell us about it. Those skidoo trips to town were really more fun than inconvenience. And there are those occasions where certain essentials are needed. A few must-haves, don't you know?
Don't leave home without it.
Frankie always needed to get in on the sled action. He doesn't want to miss out on any fun. Now winter sure was a long one, but it was much enjoyed. We put our project to rest and got out to enjoy the woods every chance we could. After a long trek, it was a joy to come home to the warmth of the fire and enjoy the fruits of our labor. And home, my friends, is my childhood dream come true.
We have literally seen more moose tracks in the last week than we have snowmobile tracks. It's just amazing. It's awesome.
Hey everybody, I just want to share a little something with you. Not really a recipe, really. There's nothing fancy going on here, but it's really good. Now I eat a lot of sandwiches, okay? Because I'm busy all the time, busy all day. If Lori's here, maybe she'll heat up leftovers for me or make me something that I want. But a lot of times I'm just on the go, whip up a quick sandwich, and that'll do me. Whenever I go to the store and I buy cod or haddock, I buy a little extra, cook a little extra. Now what I did here is I cooked up some cod. Very simple. Just put it in a baking dish, few pats of butter over the top, a bunch of minced garlic all over it. Throw it in the oven, cooked it until it's done. I mean, I don't have to write that recipe for you, okay? It's fish, butter, and garlic. All right? So now I'm going to take this leftover. It's still got the little bits of garlic all over it. There's butter congealed to it. I'm going to just take it, chop it up, mash it up with mayo. Have it on a toasted roll. Actually, I think all I have is English muffins, but that'll work. When you mix the fish with mayo, it's very similar to crab meat, okay? Not identical, but very similar, especially if you put a little Old Bay seasoning in it. Yeah, so I'm gonna mash this up and serve it up. Oh yeah. If you like tuna sandwiches and you like lobster rolls and crab meat sandwiches, I'm pretty certain you're gonna love this. Now, like I said, I cook this with the garlic and I mix it right in, but if you're not into the garlic, you just bake the fish on its own. And then just mix it with mayo. Man, what a good sandwich it is. Especially on a toasted roll. You know, take like a hot dog roll and toast it and then fill it with this stuff. Yeah, so that's all there is to it. Give it a go. I don't see people doing this. It's like they can't think outside the box, you know? It's just like the fish in a can, tuna in a can, that's it. And this here, it's a lot like crab meat. It's really good. Well, give it a try. Okay, time for a little weekly Q&A. But before I get started, I just wanted to mention that I get an awful lot of comments on my videos, usually between 400 and 500 follow an upload. I read every single comment and I respond to as many as I possibly can, but it's impossible to answer everyone. But I do acknowledge you by pressing that little heart button. I'm glad that YouTube had installed that, okay? Because I like to acknowledge everyone that writes to me, except for the hateful comments that I get. But those I just delete. Then I click the button that says hide this user's comments from my videos, and I never see them again. They think that they're trying to ruin my day, but really all they do is make me so very grateful that my life isn't full of so much hatred to the point where I feel I need to lash out to someone I don't even know. So it really works in the opposite direction. Yep. Life is good, and it can be as good or as bad as you want it to be. It's all in how you act, man. It really is. Okay, let's get started. Have I ever done any wood carving? You know, I'm fascinated with wood carving, and one of these days, when my life slows down and I have my little workshop and I have a place to go and putter on projects, I will get into wood carving. You can follow along as that new endeavor unfolds. But the only thing I've ever carved is this ladle. Remember this? There's a video back around 2014 to 2015. You saw me on the cabin porch hacking away at a piece of wood with my hatchet, and I said I was going to carve a spoon. Well, this is the end result right here. Yeah, this is the only thing I've ever carved, though. I do want to get into carving, though. Very fascinated with it. Do you ever wear a watch? I never see you wearing a watch in your videos. Very, very rarely. You know, I've never had the desire to be up to date with everything and always know what time it is. Never. I've just never worn a watch like that. Sometimes when I hunt, I will have a watch with me. If I'm hunting with someone, like they might be working one area and I'm working another, and I say, hey, I'll meet you over by the brook or something like that at a certain hour, then I'll have a watch with me. I've just never had the desire to know what time it is. I eat when I'm hungry, I sleep when I'm tired, and I get up when I'm no longer tired and I'm hungry. And I don't need a watch for that. So we're on our own time zone here, living on cabin time. Cabin time is a good time. What's my favorite fish to catch and eat? I love trout fishing. Absolutely love trout fishing. I like ice fishing better than regular fishing, so I catch all species then. But my favorite fish to eat for freshwater fish is hornpout. They're called hornpout in the east, bullheads everywhere else. I just love them. That white meat and a big bone structure, you just peel that backbone right out of them. Oh, they're fantastic. You give me a basket of deep fried hornpout and some cold beer, and I'm a happy man. And I love being a happy man. I do. Do as many things as I can that make me happy. Alrighty. Do I ever use reflective trail markers? Yes, I do, and I love them, and I've used them for years. I always carry a compass with me. I trust my compass. I really never have any worries about being lost in the woods. I'm pretty confident out there, pretty comfortable out there. But I do have a lot of trails marked with reflective markers. And the reason is my most productive hunting times is dawn and dusk, especially the evening. That last half an hour of shooting light, the witching hour, is the best. Well, some of my stands, it might be 3/4 of a mile to a mile away from the camp. I hunt swamps way down in the valley a lot of times, crossing beaver dams, crossing streams. So if I stay in my stand till the very last minute of legal shooting time, that means I'm walking out in the pitch dark. It's not a problem. But if you're just using a compass, you're going to zigzag left and right, because I don't walk through the woods like this, okay? I take a compass reading, I try and go straight, take another compass reading, try and go straight, and you zigzag a lot. So it's very easy to lose any trails that I might be following, or trying to follow. So especially when you're dragging a deer, all right, you want to drag that in as straight a line as possible. So by having my trail all marked, it gives me a little sense of security. I can stay out there, walk out in the pitch black, shine way ahead, see my trail way ahead. And it works out really good for people that are a little bit squeamish about being in the woods after dark. And a lot of hunters are, unfortunately. They shoot a deer in the evening, then they're afraid to be out there, and they go out in the morning trying to find it, and they lose the blood trail, or they find the deer finally it's been riddled by coyotes. It's a shame. I don't think people should even be in the woods if they're afraid to be out there after dark, hunting wise. But anyway, the cat's eyes are great, and on more than one occasion, when I'm tracking a deer, I'm just tracking a deer. You come across it, and then you start working your way back. You work with a compass, you take a compass reading, you drag that animal, take a compass reading, you're going over blowdowns, you're fighting all kinds of brush, trying not to poke an eye out. You might shine your flashlight and see one of these cat's eyes. The deer often circle back into the area that they were shot in. And I might be 20 feet off of my trail and never know the trail is there and spend all night busting brush, dragging that deer over all kinds of tough terrain when I had a trail right there. And without the reflective cat's eyes, I would never know the trail was there, and I'd waste a lot of time. Now, the best trail markers I have ever used are made by the Lewis Company. They're called Twice Bright Eyes. I'll put them in the description down below so you can see what I'm talking about. There's a lot of trail markers on the market, a lot of cheap ones, but I'll tell you what, the cheap ones, if you're getting a lot of heavy wet snow coming down and there's a lot of fog and moisture in the air, and those cheap tack, reflective tacks, get a film of moisture on them. They don't reflect for beans, okay? These Lewis ones work awesome. They are fantastic and they're worth the money. So if you're going to make the investment on trail markers, get the good ones. Highly recommend it. Now, I like to, if I can go cheap on something that's going to perform really good, I'm going to go cheap. But I've gone cheap with the trail markers and I didn't get the same results as these. These work fantastic. They're worth the investment. So that is it for now, folks. Keep your questions coming. I will answer them as my time will allow. All the best to you, and God bless. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go. There's a pokey way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss.